Welcome to Mysterious Universe, Season 19, Episode 20. Coming up on this show, we've got time window technology, the renaissance of psychedelic research, and reincarnating as a fat pig. I'm Benjamin Grundy, joining me is Aaron Wright.
As enthralling as I'm sure that story is, I just love it that today I'm there typing away, doing my work, and you send me this picture of a Chinese woman, and you say to me, this is the most incredible reincarnation story we've ever covered. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And you say, I'll send you her previous incarnation. You sent me a picture of a bird.
Yeah, she was an eagle in her past life.
How do you even recall that?
She remembers everything. She remembers laying eggs, giving birth to over 100 chicks. She remembers her strong eagle claws.
Well, I have to ask. So we know from a lot of reincarnation stories that sometimes those attributes of a previous incarnation comes into the new one, right? So obviously when you're going from human to human, it's personality traits. But now as a human, what does she still lay eggs? What does she do?
The Chinese researcher who followed up on this case, he went to give her a handshake when he first met her, and she's in her 70s. And he said it was like getting crushed by an eagle claw. She had this grip that it was like a vice.
I was waiting for you to say that she jumped on top of him, pecked him to death.
No, but she has all these strange attributes. Like she loves the taste of rotting meat. Oh. Like she prefers meat that's been sitting out for a while, which she prefers from her life as an eagle. And he actually tested her sight. And she has incredibly sharp vision. She has the vision of an eagle. It's quite incredible. This is coming up in a book. I hope I have time to fit this in. This is from 100 Incarnation Cases in Pingyang, Extraordinary True Cases of the Calm People Who Recall Past Lives. And it's a very specific region. I think it's in Guangzhou. Mm-hmm. And it's an ethnic group in China. And they have this kind of oral tradition of reincarnation, and it's all part of their history. But it seems as though there's a lot of cases focused in this area because the reincarnations seem to stay in this area. It's not like they're reincarnating all over China. Well, they're just staying in this local region.
Well, you hear as a whole generally from reincarnation stories, especially the ones that come out of India, which is a good example, is that when people reincarnate, they tend to reincarnate around the same groups of people. So it would make sense that you have that going on. But the thing is, I mean, people could just say, well, it's a cultural thing. That is, culturally, they believe in reincarnation. But from what you were telling me, there's a whole heap of physical evidence that seems to come through.
This area has tons of those cases where if it's an accidental death or, you know, some kind of unfortunate murder maybe, there will be a birthmark that corresponds to the death of the previous incarnation.
Oh, great. Yeah, this is Ian Tucker kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Stevenson, Jim Tucker you're referring to.
Jim Tucker, sorry, yes.
He followed the work of Ian Stevenson. Stevenson actually went to this area, and it's really intriguing, some of the cases that come up. Some of them have never been covered before. This case really breaks them for the first time, and it's all translated from a Chinese source. So this is
great.
You know, really interesting accounts here. You know, you're seeing stuff where there's the usual entry and exit wounds of bullets in warfare, but there's things where the village, for example, once someone will die, the mother, for example, there's one case where she scribbles a message on the arm of her dead son. Mm-hmm. And it's the details of who he is. It's his name, what clan he's from.
In a texter or something?
Yeah, she just uses a marker and writes it on his arm. And soon after, a child is born with this birthmark on the inside of his arm that you can't tell that it's writing. It doesn't look like writing. No. But it's exactly where she's left that mark on the death of her son. Yep. And he has memories of being that person.
Yeah, that's really crazy. In fact, if I can find that image, I'll put that in the show notes because that's just really compelling. I mean, yes, it's a birthmark, but the coincidence is uncanny.
And for the first time, I've seen cases from this book where it's detailed there's reincarnations into infants who have already been born.
Oh, this is like that whole idea of walk-ins.
Yeah.
That's a bit. Is it implying that something else has been pushed out?
It's too weird. I have to explain it later.
All right. Well, we'll get into that in a moment.